boards actually is making it very difficult to score marks.
Hello, welcome back to my channel. I am Shirin and today's video is going to be how you can juggle both CLAT and boards, and it's difficult, and that's the reason why most people take a drop, and I have even seen people take 2 or 3 years of drop because it's just so difficult to juggle the two. So I'm going to give you some of my tips and tricks that helped me not only get AIR 553 in CLAT, okay, this was my CLAT hand, and all as well as 95% in boards. And so without any further ado, let's get started with this video. So just when I tell you that I was in a really bad state after my CLAT exams happened in December, I'm not joking, okay? I remember I got like 35 out of 70 in my boards, in my pre-boards in both physics and chemistry. Yeah, I remember I just got 2 marks. I got either 62 out of 80 or I got 35 out of 70, like in all of my subjects. It's so weird, but that is how it happened. And when I tell you that I had not studied anything for my finals, for my boards, it was very difficult. And so I'm going to talk about how you can actually give CLAT, and right after that start your boards preparation, and what to do exactly to make sure that you are able to not only be successful in one of the exams but be successful in both. And so without any further ado, let's get started with this video. The first tip which I have to give you is basically to prioritize. It's really important that you know what is the immediate priority that you have in the nearer sense of things. Like when you have let's say like a really important exam in your school, you have to prioritize that. Similarly for CLAT, when you have like a mock or something, or you have certain deadlines and you have not met them, you have to prioritize CLAT. So it's really a game of you sitting there and taking a decision every day. Okay, today I have to prioritize CLAT, or today I have to prioritize board, and this is really important. The second is also to study for your half yearly. I know most of us are not in the boards mood, okay? Like in the beginning of the year, we are not in the boards mood. We are like, yeah, you know what, ho jayega, it's going to be fine, it's going to be okay. But trust me guys, it's not going to be fine, it's not going to be okay. I feel like December mein jab se CLAT hone laga hai, which is my year, was the first year, this is the worst month. And I've already spoken about how December is like the worst month. You have your practicals, you have to give your projects, there's so many things that you have to wrap up at school, and then you have to give your CLAT, which is like a nightmare. But I think the worst part about December is that आप ना बोर्ड्स की पढ़ाई कर पाते हो, ना ही आप CLAT की पढ़ाई कर पाते हो. You are just sort of in like stretched between both of these, and so this is really important that you actually study for your half yearly, because half yearly में generally most schools will give you upwards of 50 to 60% of your syllabus. And अगर आप half yearly के time पे एक महीने if you not prioritize CLAT and just do your boards, then once you finish with your CLAT, you will actually be done with almost 50% of your syllabus, right? And it is going to be so much of help to you, because आप अगर वो 50%, that is that 50% that I actually even passed my pre-boards with, because वो if I had not done it during my half yearly, then I would not have been able to pass in my pre-boards. तो मुझे बैठने ही नहीं देता most probably, because I had not studied at all for the finals. So while you can definitely do your finals in the last 2 months after CLAT, like January and Feb, but when it comes to your half yearly portion, you should finish it during your half yearly. At least give it like a good thorough revision, so that जब आपके CLAT के बाद you can just revise it and just be able to give the exam. You know, आपको ज़्यादा पढ़ाई उसको, if you sit down and open your entire syllabus for the first time in after your CLAT, then you are going to be in hell of a problem. So definitely let me tell you this. And the other part is that what I've realized is over this year especially is that boards actually is making it very difficult to score marks, and is also and I've heard this universally, like in all boards. I was an ISC, but I have heard from CBSE people and from even like the state boards that is बार के boards के papers were more difficult, and also like the marking, they are not being as generous as they used to be like the last couple of years. And I'm not very sure if that's because of the COVID or anything, but they were pretty hard with our batch. So don't think that our bet okay, and it's going to be very easy to get above 90%, above 95%. It is getting considerably difficult. Even I expected a little bit more, but you know what, like I'm fine. And so yeah, that is really important. And the third part is actually sort of like tweaking your system, but basically you should not neglect your projects and your viva, and all of these things carry a lot of marks. And I saw so many people just not really focusing on it and just being like, yeah, I'm just gonna wing it, you know, I'm just gonna come on the day of the viva and just pretend like I know the answers when I don't. And trust me when I say this, you should be very serious about any ways in which your school can send you good marks, okay? So आपके जो internals रहते हैं, जहाँ पे आपको projects, vivas, practicals जो भी होते हैं, please prepare well enough for them, because if you don't give them properly, you are not going to get marks at the end, because every marks counts, right? So you have to give your projects and your vivas and your practicals seriously, and you have to put some effort into them. And I know it's difficult, but this is really, there's no other way to go about it. And the fourth, and this is, please listen to your school teachers. Here's the thing, right? All of us hate our school teachers. All of us, I mean, I don't actually really love a lot of my school teachers, but all of us have various issues with our school teachers. We may not like them, they might not be good in teaching us, we might not like their teaching styles, whatever it is, that's fine. But your school teachers are also your best bet at understanding the system. They're the ones who generally are a part of the system. So they go for checking of papers, they go for like, sometimes they make the question papers, they make the answer keys, they go for checking of the papers. So they are people who are in the system for a long time, especially teachers who have been here for 10, 15, 20 years. So they have a very decent idea of what sort of questions come, what are the important areas. Please listen to them when they talk. So अगर आप school जा रहे हो तो don't sit there and think, don't daydream. Instead, just actually listen to your teachers and ask them what are the important parts, what are the important topics, because every chapter there's an important topic so there's no point of you learning about a topic which will never come, but instead you should focus on topics that are more asked and are often more more represented in your board paper, because there are some questions which I know which come every year. Just say for example, I remember in physics there was this chapter, I think, not very sure, but it was, I think, wave Eugene's principle or something like that, and I could be wrong, but वहाँ पे दो derivations थे जो alternate years में आते थे, and it also came, I think, in our boards as well. So it's really important that you focus and look at it, which brings me to my 5th or 6th, I don't even know which point this is anymore, but 10 years is so important. I don't know which company की मेरे पास 10 years है, but अब कोई भी company की 10 years उठाओ and do it. Trust me when I say this, after 10 years you will actually be able to notice so many of the patterns that come in boards very frequently. You will actually be able to look at it and see, okay fine, तो ये questions alternate years में आते हैं, ये questions हर year आते हैं, कुछ questions ऐसे भी होते हैं जिसके सिर्फ वो लोग कुछ numbers या कुछ circumstances change करके वो लोग same questions डाल देते हैं आपको. So it's really important that you do those questions, because chances are वो questions बहुत आने वाले हैं. And yeah, now coming to another point, we understand which subjects you can neglect and which subjects you cannot. So here's the thing, right? अगर आपको लगता है कि आप starting of the board year में आप कुछ नहीं करेंगे and last 2 months में आप कर लेंगे, while it might be true for some subjects like physics, chemistry, because I had some really good teachers and I was able to dedicate a lot of time to them, I was able to do it. But there are some subjects which you just cannot wing it in the last minute. For example, maths is a subject that you cannot wing it. You cannot say कि मैं सारा साल नहीं पढ़ूंगी, मैं सिर्फ CLAT के बाद में 2 महीने पढ़ूंगी और मैं मैथ्स कर दूंगी, ऐसा नहीं होता है. तो मैथ्स you have to do consistently over the year, so over the entire year. So for me, I basically did maths not every day, but मैंने I used to do it every week. So मैं कभी भी maths को long term के लिए neglect नहीं करती थी, because maths is very important. And another part that I also really liked is actually I used to do most of my studying for boards in my tuitions. So I had figured out, because I had science and I had a lot of tuitions. So what I used to do is that मैं सिर्फ tuitions में ही पढ़ती थी. For example, there's a couple of subjects which I never used to touch at home. जैसे math generally मैं थोड़ा बहुत पढ़ती थी, घर पे मैं ज़्यादा नहीं पढ़ती थी, और physics, chemistry I would study a little bit at home, but when it came to like English and computers, I would completely do most of it in my tuition, and I would not really, and school. So my school or tuitions के classes के ऊपर ही rely करती थी when it came to computers, English. So pick these few subjects जहाँ पे आपको पता है कि आपके teachers अच्छे हैं, they're very helpful. It's going to be easy for you to do them just in class and just in school, and just do them and don't have to open them at home. But you have to choose those subjects, because it's really important that you don't dedicate your time to all subjects at home, because आपकी time बहुत limited होती है. And here's all of my tips and tricks on how you can juggle boards and CLAT. Let me know if you want any other videos from me, and subscribe, and bye. Thanks for watching.